Roller Coaster Motor. My name is Tommy. Today is Thursday, June 30th, 2022. It's day 4 out of 5 of my trip to New Orleans. I did not vlog anything yesterday for day 3. Just kind of had a relaxing day at the Airbnb, recharging. Came here at the Ruby Slipper on Magazine Street for some breakfast. Here's the menu. And the other side. We got their house bloody with bacon-infused vodka. A big old slice of bacon in there too. It's a very spicy Bloody Mary. Very spicy. I got these sweet heat chicken with French toast bites. A little more sweet than I was expecting, but still a good solid spice. French toast bites are really exceptional. Very good texture. That was extremely good breakfast. 10/10 would definitely recommend eat here again. Now we're gonna explore the market area near the French Quarter. Got a swamp tour later tonight, and also Coterie for dinner before the swamp tour. Just walking along the Mississippi as we make our way. It's much wider down here than it is in Minnesota. But it's about just as brown as it is in Minnesota, though. Extremely murky river. Very brown. Just see Jackson Square in between the gap for a second. Now the train is gone. Much better view of Jackson Square right here from the Riverwalk. Oh yeah, and I just realized that is Cafe Du Monde right there with the green and white awning. There's the market that I will be going to right over there. Now here you can really see Jackson Square. Mind the noise, just some power washing of the steps.
What you said about July 4th? I forgot. About what? July 4th. I got it.
And here's a very notable location. It's 525 Frenchman Street. In the Jon Favreau film Chef parked his food truck right here, right where that golf cart is. Walked over to Cafe Du Monde, got beignets with his son, and then walked through the French market and came back to a line at the food truck. He just sat here and served a bunch of people. Extremely good film. Here's about as close as I'm gonna get to Jackson Square. Till it's starting to pour down pretty hard. I'm gonna go back to the awning, but still wanna get a closer shot. Just another little angle of Jackson Square. Underneath an awning. Dry right here. Just see it poking out. It's a little afternoon rainstorm. Now for dinner, I'm here at the Coterie on Decatur Street, in between Iberville and Canal Street. Okay, here's the drink menu. Page 2. Definitely going with the old-fashioned. It's been my drink of choice for a few months now. Here's the menu. And the other side. Here's my old fashioned. I'd say it's mildly sweet. It's a Cajun egg rolls with crawfish, smoked andouille sausage, corn, and cheddar. And here's the inside. These are very, very good. The sauce has a nice kick to it. Can't taste the crawfish too strong, but it's not a bad thing necessarily. And char-grilled oysters. It's pretty good. The sauce I put on it is incredible. I got the firecracker po' boy, fried and glazed with the sweet heat chili sauce. It's very good. Gotta love that chili sauce. It's a good variation on a po' boy. Absolute 10 out of 10. Easily the best food I've had on this trip so far, and Looks like a good chance this will be the best food I've had on the trip, because there's not a ton more food to eat. Probably my last time on Bourbon Street for this trip. Got about an hour for the swamp tour. And Crystal's the only place I've seen with the blue raspberry daiquiri, so Crystal it is. I had to try one of their cheeseburgers. I've never had Crystal before. Pretty used to White Castle though. It tastes almost exactly like White Castle. One difference is they put a little bit of mustard on it though. It's the largest daiquiri I've had on the trip so far, and it's also my favorite. Look at the length of that straw. That is just something else. Goodbye, Bourbon Street. I like you a little bit more each time. Just the most perfect, beautiful trash I've ever seen. But now we got the swamp tour. And now we are here at Cajun Encounters, about 45 minutes north of New Orleans, for a swamp tour.
Just like driving a car, it's just the road moves on you, that's all. They drop their nets, they'll start trawling for a little while, and we go pick them on up. And then they go sort their shrimp out by different sizes. They do have refrigerated boxes on those boats to keep their shrimp fresh. Once they fill the boat up, they go head on in the dock and sell their home. Now they're out for about 5 to 7 days at a time. To come home, rest up for a day or two, head on back out and do it all over again. They have these houses that are on the right-hand side. These are all permanent residents, and they live here year-round. Now these are accessible by land, so they can drive their cars up there to them. Now they do have some more upriver a little ways though that are not. So they have a parking lot and a boat launch, and they'll go ahead and they'll park their truck, hop in their boat, and they'll drive across the river and go to their house. Out here during the winter time, it's about the only tree that's got green leaves on it. A lot of locals will come out here and they'll pick them, they dry them out and they'll use them. You have to dry those out though, because they say if you don't, you got to put one of those leaves in your dish fresh. In the night, that dish will make you constipated, so nobody wants that at all. Chicken livers or melt, pogies are different bait fish that we have around here. But what we've actually found works the best is soap. They have a certain brand of soap, it's called Zote. So if you start reading the ingredient list on that soap though, it's about 68% animal fat. Huh. Take that bar of soap and they cut it up into cubes. Take one of those cubes, put it on the hook, throw it in the water. Starts releasing those oils, the catfish smell it, they like it, they come up there and they take a bite and they get hooked. Now the best part about using soap though is when you come out here to check your lines, you pull your line up, you got a catfish on there, take it off the hook, you throw it in the boat, it's clean for you already. Now the main reason they're going to use it though, those guys might set anywhere from 50 to 100 lines in a night. So you use something like a chicken liver or anything like that, get 20 lines in, your bait's already starting to fall off your hook. So. If they do catch a catfish or like that, they'll actually hold it in their beak and they'll hit it against rocks or trees or something like that. Break that spine off, that way they can go and eat it. Now, a hook net's just a big net and they tie either wooden or plastic hoops into it. That way it expands the net when it hits the water. Now, the bait they're going to use for that's called catfish cheese. Now, catfish cheese is just cheese that you and me would eat, but they put in a 55-gallon drum and let it sit for about a year. And it stinks. Now, one of my buddies does happen to fish with those hoop nets, and they'll use that bait and sell the fish that he catches. I go over by his house to hang out with him and drink a beer, and I walk in his backyard and I'll fall down and it stinks so bad. That man, you got to put the cap on that cheese. He said it just smells like money to me, Pat. Your money stinks, dude. Cypress trees go straight to the center of their house. Now, people always ask me, why don't they kind of just move their house around? As you can kind of see by this place, you don't really have the room to move your house around, so they just build around and make big tree houses and stuff around them. Cool. Now, how you get your camper up there, though, that's a different story. That's some redneck ingenuity at its finest, I can tell you all that. And somebody in the beer was like, hey, y'all watch this or something. Now, Abin told us the mother-in-law's suite, though, and they have a removable staircase that they can pull back when they get her up there and keep her up there as long as they want. So, 15 minutes for it to open and close. And anybody can get it open for them. They have a 1-800 number on that sign. You can call it. And we'll come out here and open it for you free of charge. They do say you can expect to wait up to 4 hours before they get out here to you, though. Now, they do mean every minute of that thing, too. Now, there's only a couple tenders in the state left that can still open that thing. And I met one of them not that long ago. His name was Tim. I said, Tim, what you do if you get a call to open that bridge? He's like, well, Pat, depends on what time of day it is. He said, if it's the morning time, I'll go ahead and I'll make me some breakfast. He's like, then I'll watch one of my TV shows. So he likes watching Bonanza. And then I'll do some chores around the house, and then I'll get in my truck and I'll come out here and open the bridge. And the thing about it, though, is Tim lives in Slidell like me, so he's only about 12 minutes away, but he does not care. It is a 4-hour minimum when he's coming out. Now, fish-wise, though, fish are going to have like alligator gar, large and smallmouth bass, brim, perch, and sac-a-lait. Sac-a-lait is just a type of sunfish, because I'm as big as my hand. Not too big, you know, but good eating them. Catfish, like I said, is probably one of the main targeted fish that's in here. They actually got white sturgeon out there in these waters too. A buddy of mine caught one about 3 weeks ago, about 8 foot. Yeah. A little female. They'll get a lot pretty. They'll get like crazy, kind of like green colored, and their stripes, white colored stripes, stuff like that. It's pretty. This area is a place they would have logged out here. Now, the main reason they were logging for bald cypress, it is a very good building material. It is water and rot resistant. Bugs don't like to eat it. Now, when they would log out here, they would have cache piles of logs sitting along the banks of the river. When the rivers would flood, it would actually pick those logs up and bring them out in the river and sink them. Now, you get a lot of people that hunt for that. It makes it known as something called sinker cypress. Now, it is worth a lot of money. One log is about 4 foot in diameter by about 14 feet long. It's worth about $35,000. So if we do happen to see one of those bad boys pop up on us, we're going to hold that thing on the side of the boat. We heading back in. Putting that thing out. Now, this is our American alligator. Now, there is a way to tell the size of an alligator by looking at them. If you measure from the tip of their snout to their eyes, however many inches it is, that's how many feet that alligator is. Now, they have those bumps that are on their back. It's what they call their scoots. That's actually how alligators warm up. So they get up on the top of the water, or they'll get out on logs, things like that. The sun's going to start hitting those plates. They gotta act like solar panels. Once they heat up, then their blood vessels run through there, and it warms their blood up. Now, smaller ones, they can warm up pretty quick within a couple hours. Larger ones, it might take a day or so. Time just depends on them. Alligators do get like to eaten by a lot of things, like because when they're born, they're only about 6 inches long. A lot of things like great blue herons, great white egrets, raccoons, catfish, and other kind of alligators, different things. They'll eat them. So if she has 50 of them that hatch, maybe 5 to 7 of them might make it to adulthood. You do have to get tags to hunt them. We have a lottery system here. You can put your name in. You might get tags, you might not. It just kind of depends on that. Say if you do get tags, put your name in, they give you 20 tags. You better harvest 20 alligators that year. Because if you don't, whatever tags you have remaining over, they are going to take from you. Or they won't give it back to you the next year. So, if you have your tags in order, you can go ahead and start hunting them. They're going to tie a line and tie it up to a cane, tie it up to a tree. Then they take a cane pole and they shove that out in the mud. Now, they want to put their bait high, because the thing is with alligator hunting, you want big ones. Now, those alligators can jump 2/3 of their body out of the water. Now, this is where they start the walking tour, so it is self-guided, though. I can't help you out on this. Y'all see these pink things that are on the trees over here on this left side? You'll have them all over the place. Kind of keep your eye out. Looks like bubble gum sitting on there.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
That's an apple snail egg sac. And we started getting those about 10 to 12 years ago. Don't really care for those guys that much. They do like to eat everything our native snails do. You're starting to see all this green stuff that's on the water around here.
Yeah.
I know we call it duckweed. Now, all of our mallards and wood ducks that we have around here, they really like to eat this stuff. They'll land in there and they start flapping around in it. And then it gets stuck underneath their wings. And actually, when they go to land in new ponds and everything, it starts repopulating in that area. They'll come off. Now, if you had a koi fish pond or anything like that, koi fish love that stuff. They will eat it like crazy. We did start getting those Asian carp around here a while back. Don't really care for those guys. They get about 20 to 30 pounds. A lot of time when they hear the vibration of your motor, they'll start jumping out of the water. They've actually had plenty of incidents where they've knocked people out while they were driving their boats. Even some incidents of them knocking them completely out of their boat while they were driving. They're normally more towards the marshier areas, though, but they like to eat this stuff too. Now, what this stuff really does, though, the main benefit of it, is we do get this oxygen-robbing algae that'll grow during the summertime around here. So this stuff blankets the surface of the water and it shades that bottom. That way the sunlight can't penetrate down there. And then you blinded me. And then it'll shade that way that algae can't start growing, kind of help out with it. Honestly, I know that there's 2 million alligators. They say there's 2 million alligators in the state of Louisiana alone. So I'd say out here, probably like you could probably see 50 to 70 alligators a lot of times in the summertime within a mile and a half. You kind of just figure that thing all out, you know. There's a lot of them out here. That's what you see, you know. There's no telling how many there's out there too.
Do you see them crawl over that?
It's right there.
I thought this was the right way. It wasn't supposed to dead end.
Oh, he's long.
No, he's ready for a tourist. Give me a life jacket. So they got these trees around here. You kind of see how these trees are with the roots and everything. Now, we do have wild pigs out here.
Yes, they are.
Now, what they like to do is they come up around these trees and they'll start digging up around those roots, looking for smaller roots, grubs, worms, different things like that. Now, as they get their fill, then they'll go ahead and they'll leave. And now, problem with it is, though, is that after we get our floods and everything like that, it actually washes all that sediment away, that dirt. It exposes the root system of the tree, and eventually it will kill the tree. Now, this stuff's actually what helps out when we have all those hurricanes come through and we get that big old storm surge of water. That's what helps break that storm surge up. The more of this we lose, the kind of bigger of the problem it's going to end up being for that.
Little one.
Now they say that there's around 700,000 of them here in Louisiana. It's probably actually more than that. Now, so to control the population of pigs, you have to harvest like 70 to 75% of them a year. Now, last year we only did 46%, so really not that much. You know? The problem with it is, a female pig, she can start having babies every 6 months. Or at 6 months. Then she can have a litter every 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days, and they can have 8 to 12 pigs in a litter. So she is definitely pumping them out. Now, they say one male boar can be responsible for like 200,000 pigs in his lifetime. So he's definitely the king of the gigolos. He doesn't have to pay any child support either. So. Now, they have this tree out here, right here. Now, Disney actually came out here and they took a lot of pictures of this whole waterway. Now, and this tree. Now, when they were making the movie The Princess and the Frog, they actually got a lot of inspiration from this tree for the Mama Odie's tree.
Oh.
Now, it is a little different, of course. That's where the inspiration comes in. Now, they have another name for this tree also. They call it the whiskey tree. But they say you used to be able to come out here, and on those little nubs, they got little holes on them on the other side. Then you could put $20 in one of those little nubs. And you came back the next morning, there'd be a bottle of whiskey or moonshine waiting for you. Now, I'm here to tell you that I've tried it. When I came back the next morning, I was just out $20. So somebody was most definitely lying. They've actually had somebody get married underneath that tree also. I'm pretty sure they were in a boat, but all part of me likes to hope that they were out here standing in chest waders. If you are going to get married in the swamp, you better do it the right way. And they're going to set them out about every 10 feet apart from each other. So once you get them all set up, then you come back out to where you started at. A lot of people will put waders on. They'll walk around out here. I would out here. Snakes aren't too bad around here. Where I like to go out there are a lot of snakes, so you won't catch me in that water. Now I'll stay in the boat. You go ahead and pull the first one up. You could have 10 to 15 crawfish in it. Next one could have 20, 25 crawfish in it. Next one could have 5. It really just depends on how well they're running. It is easy to come out here and catch over 100 pounds of crawfish in a day for about $10 worth of bait. That means for a good dinner that night. A lot of beer to go along with it. So. Now, y'all thought the bugs were going to be bad this evening coming out? Yeah. Me too. I did too. I'm so glad they're not. A lot of the times during the daytime, they're not bad out here. You won't have a single bug out here on you. Now, a lot of the reason is because this water does move and the sunlight hits the bark on those cypress trees, kind of keeps them off. Now, nighttime is normally a different story. Nighttime normally is when our state bird, the mosquito, comes out. Now, a lot of people, we do use things for different kind of bug spray. A lot of people use dryer sheets around here. They do work for gnats. That does work. Now, a lot of people also use Skin So Soft. That works for gnats and mosquitoes. Leaves you really greasy though. Now, a lot of people like to use off, stuff a lot of DEET in it. Now, we don't find that really works that much. It almost seems like it attracts bugs more than anything. Now, what we've actually found though is if you go to Victoria's Secrets and you go to the perfume section, they got a perfume called Amber Romance. And that is the best bug spray that's out here. Now, when you go home and your wife smells you, it is a little bit harder explaining you were actually doing a night tour. Then when she sees the glitter on your face, you just got to tell her you gave some to the raccoons and they threw it back at you. All jokes aside, though, it really does work. If you ask any of the captains out here, they've all got a bottle of it in their lunchbox. They're at home or they're in the truck. Now, people always ask, how y'all figure that out? So that I can tell you. Well, people in Louisiana get eaten by bugs 24/7 pretty much around here. So I guess somebody was out there with their wife or girlfriend one day, significant other. They had it on and they weren't getting eaten up, but they were. So, don't question things that work too much, though, Good people. My wife says I'll give people heart attacks. So.
Hello,
And if you take this stuff, it's what we call giant cut grass. If you kind of take it and you bump your fingers down the edge of it, you feel little serrades on it. Be careful with it.
I want to touch them.
A lot of baby alligators, big alligators apparently, ducklings and snakes and stuff like to hang out in there. Does keep them safe from predators. Now, and the only birds that are getting there is like a red-winged blackbird and stuff like that. They're not really gonna harm stuff, A lot of times too, there's stuff that grow out the top of it though. It will have wild rice growing out the top of it. That's pretty much why all of your Cajun food has rice in it. Just so abundant out here. A lot of times too, like on Mondays, you'll see pretty much every restaurant around New Orleans side. A lot of times, they're always going to have red beans and rice on the menu. If you go to restaurants on a Monday around here, that's going to be the special. It's going to be red beans and rice. The main reason for that is that Mondays used to be wash days around here, so everybody would get together to go wash their clothes on Monday. It was pretty much an all-day affair. So in the morning time, they'd go ahead and they'd start their beans and everything like that. By the time they got back that evening, they'd have a nice hot meal waiting for them, ready to go. They kind of always just stuck with tradition, for Mondays. You have a long Monday or thing like that. In the morning time, you go ahead and you start your beans in your crock pot. When you get home that morning, you have a nice hot meal waiting for you. So. Whoa, whoa! There went one. Like that. One of them's driving. Now, once you finally find one, you shine the banks. You gotta look for their wide eyes. You'll see their big old belly and everything that's sticking out. So then you go ahead and you get them to start driving you in on them. You go up to the front of the boat and you lay on the front of the boat. And you take the spotlight with you and you hold the spotlight in one hand and you blind that frog. And then you go out there with the other hand and you grab them. Or you can slap them with a paddle. It puts them out pretty quick. When they come back to life though, it just knocks them out. But going to catch them, they pulled me out. They pulled me in on two of them. They had two frogs, like one here, one here. I was going to get them. I wanted to go jump out the boat on them. They had two water moccasins by both of them. I jumped back in the boat and they said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "There's two water moccasins there. I'm not getting this wrong." And I get back in the boat. Guys, if anybody on the front of the boat's hungry though, you just open your mouth up. Gnats will climb in there. You'll be full by the time you get back on the water. Good protein. We're going to ease back on into what that dock there. Probably just stay seated for me though. I'll get the boat tied up, secured and everything like that. Once everything's safe and everything good. Unload and stuff like that. We'll get that canopy lifted up here. I do hit my head on it a couple of times a day and it doesn't feel good. So that mess with people. The problem is with an alligator though is you never know when that thing might actually clamp down on you though, you know. They do have a lot of them. There's been plenty of alligators out here like in the past, stuff like captains kind of messed with, they got used to and things like that, you know, but at the end of the day it is still a wild animal, you know, so you gotta kind of be careful with it. Like, we used to have squirrels when I was a kid. Found a couple squirrels, used to raise everything. Squirrels are fun to have as pets, but when they get about 6 months old, they turn wild on you, you know? So we gotta go let them go so they don't hurt.
Wow. That was incredibly good. So far, that's been my favorite thing on this entire trip. I mean, I should say non-food, because food's still kind of up there for me. Tomorrow we're going to Ship Island though, doing beach, assuming the weather cooperates with us. Seeing gators in the wild was really, really cool. Got to see more than a handful. I don't know, I've just never been in a swamp before. It's just kind of overwhelming. I mean, there's a lot of little ecological things I never even considered. All the different animals you'd run into a swamp. Just how a swamp works. Definitely going to be doing a little more research when I get into home about just general swamp habitats and stuff like that. So, alright, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.